All right, we are live. Hi, everyone. Trying to really think of how I want my background here. Oh, yeah, that's nice. How about that? Hi, everyone. It is February. We're well into February. But I have, okay, I'm just going to scooch over here. But I have been traveling and then came right back into the New Era Academy. So I would love to start this month's energy and intuitive report with just a simple mindfulness practice. So if you would join me in closing your eyes, hands on your heart, and take a moment to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Bring your consciousness to your core of your being, so that inner place inside you, the eye of the storm that cannot be touched. And then engage in all the senses you have access to right now. So taste, touch, my favorite is sound. I love tracking sounds as part of my mindfulness practice. The birds and the animals and the dogs outside. The rattle of the heater. So juicy, so good. And part of my practice is to sit 10 to 20 minutes a day, just observing the five senses. And I wanted to start this way and bring it up to you because, February, especially in like the Midwest, I know a lot of my followers and friends and allies are in the Midwest. We're in a really cold time. We're in winter, which is a sacred time to go in, but our society is really all about yang energy going without. And so what happens is there tends to be a big conflict in the mind. And, there's a time and place to be up here, but this month is not that time and place. So I would love to invite you, in the new era, we talk about these different aspects of ourselves, right? We have our mental space, we have our emotional space, our physical space, our energetic space. We have all these bodies to us, and it's really imperative that you spend time with all of them. And particularly to know when it's time to go here, when it's time to go here, when it's time to, just be in your energy field. Yes! So that's the message. Lots of making sure that if you are in the Midwest, that you're getting your vitamin D, that you're getting your trace minerals. There's a lot of anxiety coming up. I'm running of course, the New Era Academy this month, and I'm getting really deep and close with a lot of women who are sharing that the anxiety is strong right now. So if you're an intuitive and energy, if you're connected to deeper planes, you also might be experiencing anxiety. I do have a nice ebook on my website, dawn-thompson.com, to support you with that, and of course private sessions, so we can kind of see where that's coming from. But because there's so many places, oh my gosh, a lot of anxiety that's coming up for people right now, my guides are saying is simply from passion unmet. Right? We have this second chakra of creativity. It's full of sensuality. It's full of passion. And, there's not as many outlets for it because of the pandemic, because of different things. So, yeah, passions unmet. That is one of the themes of February. And so, it's not a bad thing. Don't shame or guilt yourself. Oh my God, my passions aren't met. It's just really time to observe how that's affected you. And of course, once you've observed that, connecting with your innermost self and asking, like, what's the first baby steps I can do to fulfill the passion and the creativity that wants to live inside of me, right? All right, so the theme of the month of this year in February is abundance. And I show you the card because these are the frequencies. Have you ever seen crop circles? They're actually like energetic downloads, or they're downloads through your eyeballs. So as you look at this pattern, these frequency from the Octarians. This is the frequency of abundance. And what a wonderful, Abundanita is one of the spiritual allies that came through for one of the women in the academy, my mystery school this month. And I love when Abundanita comes in because she's just big and jolly, and she's like, eat the foods, not to stuff your feelings, but eat your foods to nourish yourself and enjoy life. I mean, she just really knows how to enjoy life. And so Abundanita is stepping in, this sacred goddess, to remind you that is a frequency that can really support you. We have surrender. I'm using, by the way, Colette Baron Reed's deck, the Shaman's Dream Oracle this month. And this is also quite the message that's come up in the academy, is to surrender. And here we have this like woman, butterfly maiden, look at her face. She's just like, oh. And surrender is the point of suffering. Surrender, you know, when you're well, Thich Nhat Hanh, our sacred teacher, Thai, who just passed, I went to a Sangha for 8 years. I sat for 2 hours and practicing mindfulness, practicing being in the moment, practicing surrender. And what I learned from that practice, one of the most important spiritual practices we can do, is just to sit with what is that when we're fighting something, right, what we resist will persist. So it's imperative that you don't resist anything this month. To the best of your ability, lean into it, surrender. Out of the 47 universal needs that all human beings have, we have appreciation, which I'm pretty sure is backwards, which makes no sense because it's going both ways. I feel so playful today. I'm giving myself spaciousness to rest and create altars and connect with friends. It feels really good. And I'm really in appreciation for that. So when you think of appreciation, it's a little different than gratitude, right? Because gratitude is like feeling it internally, and appreciation is expressing it externally. So like really sharing, you know, I appreciate that, you know, this isn't like in your family dynamic. I appreciate you did the dishes. It met my need for support and cleanliness and, you know, other of the 47 universal needs. Share your appreciation with your loved ones, your coworkers, your friends this month. The next card I pulled, kind of going into with the story here, we have abundance. We also have some suffering that we've got to surrender to if we want to get the abundance. Is this lady here? She's kind of mysterious. She's got a net over her face. She's a fisher. She's a net caster. She casts things up for an abundance to come in, and she's saying prepare. Make your preparations to come to fruition. So again, one of the things we're doing in the New Era Academy is we're preparing our temple this month to receive that when, by the time spring comes in and abundance of opportunities open up, because they will. We're going to have this March, April. I mean, I know this is February. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but we will have this March, April opening of just, think the Renaissance era, man. We have been in the Dark Ages. We're going to a little sneak peek of Renaissance frequencies and energies. If you're doing the work, if you're preparing, if your net is your physical, spiritual, emotional, energetic body and your mental body, which, by the way, just try to stay out of there this month. If you can. I know it's a part of our reality, but yeah, as you prepare your net, you're preparing yourself for this abundance that is coming in, and it is juicy. The result card. So what happens when you surrender? What happens when you build not just your physical body, right, but your emotional intelligence? What happens when you learn to not resist suffering, but to submit to it, to sit next to it, to befriend it rather than try to cure it? We get this ego sublimination. The mirror just exploding here. Vanishing mirror. It's a really beautiful mirror. What you thought was doesn't necessarily mean it is, right? Your mind has a lot of stories and they're not all true. I love this one person who's been watching the whole time. I love you. Going live. Yeah. So ego breaking down. So like shadow work and when we talk about like the ego, what surrender brings is the lesson of pain and suffering, which is to break down our ego. We're always going to have some ego. We're mammals. We're mammals, honey. But when we break down our ego, when our ego is dissolved through pain and suffering, through loss, through death, through, those things, trauma, intense things, initiations. Once we've alchemized the energy of that, then we have less ego, meaning we don't think we know, right? In my case, as a seer and an intuitive spiritual teacher, it gives me more access to channel, to speak the truth voice, to just speak and see what is without my mind going, is that right? Should it be like this? And my mind doesn't care. It's past that. It's to the point of saying like that vanishing mirror. What's on the other side of it, honestly, is like curiosity, childlike wonder. Our bodies aren't bad. They're not gross. They're not dirty. They're these beautiful vessels to experience here on earth. I mean, there's so much on the other side of the mirror. All right, this month, if you'd like to join me, let's look at the calendar and see what we got. If you're anywhere in the world, actually, you can do the fish trance on the 19th at 2 p.m. with me. We have Tranquility Salt Cave in Worthington at 6:30 on the 23rd. That's always a magical experience. What else? Oh my God, we got another Shakti Shakedown. We got another Shakti Shakedown at Perspective Temple on Mountain Street on the 27th. You can find all this and more. Oh, baby. You can find all this and more on my Facebook and all that jam. That's all I've got for today. I hope your February is amazing. I have limited access for private mentorships and private support. If you do need a session, if something's calling out to you and your guides are like, Dawn, got a message for you, I do have some times available at dawn-thompson.com. Wonderful. Have a blessed month.